Hey guys, RanterInShades here, exercising my First Amendment rights vlog style. Now this is, I guess, going to be a continuation of what I think of the classic rock kids I was talking about in my classic rock elitists suck video, but this can be applied to many different things, music, movies, etc. It's this idea that if you're a fan of a genre of music, you are obligated to like a certain thing. I'll focus more on music here since I enjoy talking about music, but I hate this ideology that some people have, that if you're a fan of a certain type of music, you have to like a certain band or a certain album or song of said band. While I personally love and cherish the Beatles' music, for example, there are many people I know who really don't like their music or find them overrated. I'm looking at you, Nick. And while I value their opinion, there are other people that take it way too far. They'll give you this really dumbfounded look and say, "How can you not like the Beatles? They're like the greatest band! How can you be a fan of rock music and not like the Beatles?" No one is obligated to like the Beatles. Not everyone likes the type of music they make, and that's fine. It's their opinion, and I find it silly that someone would think that you can't not like something, or you can't like something else. This ideology does go both ways. Let's say a fan of predominantly old school rap just happens to be a fan of Kanye West, a rapper I really don't like. They would get dumbfounded looks from people saying, "How the fuck can you like Kanye West? You call yourself an old school fan?" Liking or disliking something shouldn't be an obligation. It should be something the listener decides for themselves. Think for yourself. Only you can decide your own tastes. If you like metal, you aren't obligated to be a fan of Iron Maiden. I know that's a really absurd concept, that a metal fan might actually not be a fan of Iron Maiden, but believe it or not, they exist. That's exactly what I mean, you know, how you think it's crazy how someone might have a profound opinion like that. But my point still stands. You aren't obligated to like a certain band, and if people are gonna give you shit about it, then you know what? They're no different than those teeny bopper pop fans that think it's the worst thing ever if you're not a Directioner or a Belieber. If you say anything negative towards those acts, they'll be like, "Fuck you, I hope you die! How dare you say anything bad about 1D or JB?" Fans of rock and metal say the same basic thing. Which leads me to a personal example. What you're about to hear is a very unpopular opinion of mine that may or may not lose me some subscribers. But here it is. I really don't like Nirvana. When I've told people this opinion of mine, they've all given me the same dumbfounded look like your typical teeny bopper pop music fan. They were like, "Shades, how can you not like Nirvana? How can you know so much about music and not like Nirvana? Or, how can you be a musician and not like Nirvana?" Well, it's really simple. I think Kurt Cobain was a mediocre at best guitarist who is wrongly made out to be a martyr and musical god just because he killed himself and died young. I think Nirvana is overrated as shit. I don't condemn people for liking their music, but if you're gonna give me some dumbfounded look and say something like the comments you see on Mike's Rant Portal's video on them, then you're only proving the point I'm trying to make in this video. I'm serious. Nirvana fanboys are some of the worst that I've seen. As a fan of rock music, I'm not obligated to like Nirvana just because a lot of other people like them. I know it sounds very hipstery, but it's true. If I don't like them, then I don't like them. Simple as that. And there's nothing you can do to change that. And if you do try to change it, then obviously you can't take an opinion. Not liking Nirvana isn't a crime against humanity, and it isn't a terrible thing if a fan of rock music doesn't like them. I do respect Nirvana for doing what they could to garner a following, and for making the music they wanted to make, but that doesn't mean I like them. Nirvana, to me, is still, at the end of the day, not an untouchable fucking band. One of the most important bands in the world that you have to like, or else every single musical opinion of yours is hereby invalid. I don't even feel that way about the Beatles either. I like the Beatles, but I don't believe that everybody has to like them. Same goes for Nirvana. At the end of the day, they're just a rock band. Nothing more, nothing less. Like I said, it's not a terrible thing to go against the grain. Not everybody likes my favorite band either, and that's fine. I'm not gonna go whine and cry on a video bashing them because it's their opinion. Same shit applies when I tell people that I like a few Limp Bizkit songs. Shades, how can you know so much about music and like shitty Limp Bizkit? I thought you were a smart guy. I'm not obligated to dislike anything either. Disliking something shouldn't be an obligation. That's not thinking for yourself, because no band is unanimously hated by humanity. Not even Nickelback. Bottom line is, it's my musical taste, and I'm not obligated to like or dislike certain bands or artists, or even movies or TV shows. Neither are you. Think for yourself, and don't go with the flow because it's some kind of obligation. It's not, and it shouldn't be. You and I can like and dislike whatever we want, but not because we have to, but because we decide to. That is thinking for yourself. At least with the What's Wrong With videos, I'm not conveying that logic and acting like not liking the bands I've discussed in those videos is such a terrible thing. I do value differing opinions on music. But do you? Before I sign off here, I just want to say that if you're going to give me a hard time in the comments, or unsubscribe, or even flag this video just because of the oh-so-unpopular opinions I presented in here as examples to back my point up, you're really only proving my point. You're proving to me that you think that there are bands that you have to like and are not allowed to dislike. That is just untrue, illogical, and silly. I'm Shades, and I'll see you next time.